This year is going to be very busy for SwitchBot, and if you like that ecosystem, stick around and subscribe because there's a lot of things coming up. Hey guys, if you follow me, you already know what I've got. It's long, it's fitted to my window, and there's no way I'm gonna have it on this table because it's way too big. I'm talking about SwitchBot Roller Shade, or SwitchBot Blinds. That's how I'm going to refer to it because it's so much easier. And this is not the first device from the SwitchBot ecosystem to automate your windows. Previously, you could do it with SwitchBot Curtainry. It's really good if you have curtains. If you have Venetian blinds, then you can use SwitchBot Tilt. So they have you covered pretty well. But now you can get something special. And as usual, SwitchBot it's putting their own spin on it. Because it's a roller. So what is SwitchBot Roller Shade, and is it any good? First of all, it's been hard because I've moved houses and I don't really have any automation. I'm elbow deep in renovations, and yeah, my windows aren't really automated right now, which is a shame because in the past I had every single window fitting automated and it was awesome. Additionally, the spring is coming in the UK and finally we have sun, which means it makes sense to automate windows if you want to have a nicer sleep in the morning. It's super bright enough when I have to get up for work, and that might disturb your pattern depending on how sensitive you are to light. So when I moved in here, I quickly got some cheap blinds so I could manage my windows and increase the privacy at night so I don't broadcast what I'm doing to the entire neighborhood. But I was missing the luxury of having those automated, and SwitchBot came to the rescue. It asked me, would you like some blinds? And I said, obviously I would. Unlike other solutions from the past, SwitchBot is offering the whole package. And what do I mean by whole package? I mean, you're getting everything. You're getting a complete roller shade. It includes motto, includes the blind itself, and all the instructions to make it yours and fit it to your windows. And is the process complicated? Well, let's talk about it. First of all, you have to measure your window, and that matters because you have to select what size of your blinds you want. And obviously you would do it anyway, but SwitchBot has a new take on it. It creates a module rail system that allows you to fit the curtains to a range of windows, simplifying the entire setup. Now, depending on your window size, the price is going to vary, but you can get SwitchBot Roller Shades or SwitchBot Blinds from £169. Now, head to the description of this video, you're going to probably find a discount in there. Is £169 expensive? It really depends. Now, I got my cheap blinds for about £60, which was considerably expensive. They're quite big. And, well, to pay a little bit extra to get them motorized and automated with all fun features wasn't actually that much of a stretch for me. And to be honest, the cheap blinds look, well, cheap, and SwitchBot blinds, I can't help but notice how premium they look with the aluminium extrusion pieces and everything being nicely enclosed. It's a shame they only come with white or grey fabric, so you'll have to specify what you want in advance. However, if you don't like white and don't like grey and you have your own idea, it is possible to retrofit different blind fabric. It will take a little bit of DIY skill. So what else was inside, apart from the blind itself, which is equipped with a battery, works over Bluetooth and connects to either directly to your phone or SwitchBot Hub. I recommend SwitchBot Hub 2, which comes with a temperature sensor, because that way you can use the blinds to prevent your room from overheating and keep the heat inside. It also comes with a tiny remote, which is pretty cool because it's nice to have physical controls to move the blinds up and down without whipping out your phone or using voice controls, because if you have a hub, that integrates with your usual smart speakers. Now, this little remote is pretty clever because it acts as a pass-through. So you can use that USB Type-C connector to actually charge your blinds without trying to hook up something high. Within the kit I also found a solar panel included, which is a smart idea because especially if you have that smart panel or solar panel on the blind side, you'll be able to recharge your blinds quickly and take advantage of the luminosity sensor included. So your blinds can activate not just based on the temperature inside of the room, but also on how bright it is outside, whether opening the blinds or closing them. But the solar panel is sold separately and it'll cost you £25 unless you're gonna go for a bundle, and that's gonna be a little bit cheaper. Other than the blind itself, the roller and the entire assembly, you also have a couple of tools to trim your blinds to size. The ones I received were 185 centimeters wide and my window was 171 centimeters wide, which means I had to trim a little bit off. And there is a very clever mechanism that you use a special knife to add to the end of the blind, measure everything, and then just rotate the blind using motor to cut the blinds to size, which is super clever. Now at this point I took the time to measure everything twice, made one mistake, and I had to recut it again because I am being me, but I ended up with a nicely fitted blinds that looks really well. The only thing that I could complain was that in the package I found one of those wrapping strips, the only thing I could complain at this point that in the package I also found one of those bands that are being used to wrap the cardboards, and I thought that was a packing material, so I disposed of it. It turns out that the band is used to secure the bottom of the blind with the weight and staple it all together. Since I've lost mine, I had to use the third-party one. I've grabbed some from spare box or something, but I think it was made from a different material because included stapler wasn't strong enough to pierce through the fabric and that plastic altogether. Other than that, installation went without a hitch. There are templates included to drill the holes, add the blinds, and the brackets are lovely because the entire thing just clips in and out without any problems. And you can obviously attach the blinds on the inside of the window or on the outside depending on your preference. And I have to say, everything looks really nice. My only, I don't know if it's a complaint, but let's call it an observation, is in that on the motor side there is a slightly larger gap than on the other side, but that's because the motor is included in there and that bleeds a little bit of light. It wouldn't disturb me, it's honestly minuscule amount of light, so I'm gonna let it slide. Obviously the first thing to do was to test how they work, and there isn't really much to do. They go up and down, either full way down or full way up or somewhere in the middle. But what was interesting to me was how loud they are. And in the normal mode the blinds were loud. You could hear them, but it only takes a couple of seconds to travel across the window, and it's not that much disturbing. The funny thing happened actually when I set everything to work in a quiet mode without testing it, because I was laying on the sofa and wondering what's that noise, because it was so quiet, even though I was next to my blind, to the point when I thought there was a vacuum running upstairs. This is definitely the quietest thing I've tested for blinds, so if you're looking to get that, it's honestly pretty good. Now, yes, it will take slightly longer, approximately 20 seconds for my window to open or close it, but it's very quiet and it shouldn't wake you up. So why would you use something like that? Now, I use it for several reasons. First of all, I've got a projector, so whenever I want to watch something and it's bright outside, the curtains need to go, or the blinds need to go. And I have a universal remote from SwitchBot as well, everything meshed together. Now I can operate my blinds, I can operate my sound system and the projector from the same remote, which comes in handy. But there are also other automations. First of all, in the evening, the privacy screen, it's great. As it gets darker, you turn on the lights and suddenly, everyone knows what you're doing in your living room, so that helps you a lot. As the summer will approach soon, the temperature will become a problem, so you'll be able to use the blinds to prevent your room from overheating, reducing your electricity use for something like AC. Just remember to either get the solar panel so you can measure the sun intensity and act instantly, which is probably preferred method, or you can use the SwitchBot Hub 2 with built-in temperature sensor and prevent the room from actually overheating, but that would be my secondary way of preventing the room from getting temperature too high. If you got yourself a nice combo, and they usually offer you a great deal and you can get a nice discount on the website as well, then you can enable your curtain to be accessible from elsewhere, because having SwitchBot Hub opens the ecosystem to stuff like third-party apps like Google Home or Alexa ecosystems, and you'll be able to control it remotely and not just schedules. This also opens the possibility to use SwitchBot API, and I have an article covering the latest SwitchBot API, so if you're interested, it's going to be in a corner there for you displayed, so take a look and learn how you can direct your SwitchBot devices directly from web requests, because now it's possible. So if you're using something like Home Assistant or Node-RED, hey, it's gonna work. Other than that, there isn't really anything interesting about the app. It's nice to see the options to assign custom profiles for the button itself, so the buttons don't have to direct the blinds all the way down, all the way up. They can go to your favorite positions, and you can also set up to 8 different custom positions for the blind itself and recall them from automation. So what is the conclusion? Well, I absolutely love it. The biggest disappointment is that it's only available in grey and white, and I hope the color schemes will increase over time. But with a bit of DIY, you can just slide the fabric out and replace it with existing one. Additional benefit that you can take advantage of, because the rail is slidable and you can change different positions. If you want, you can change the location of your curtain without much hassle. Even if the next window size is slightly different, as long as it falls within the range, you'll be able to resize or shrink your blind down and fit it. If you want to make the blind bigger, you obviously have to source your material, and remember that uses the standard 40mm blind kind of profile, so you should be able to retrofit something else. So guys, what not to like? After you've been automating your lights during the winter time, it's time to automate your sunlight for the summer, which is incoming. Head to the description of this video to get your link and possibly discount and links to all the products I've mentioned, just to make sure you can set everything right and have it as fancy as I have it now in my living room. And speaking of living room, I'm just going to head on, put my blinds on and watch something interesting on my projector, because why not? Now I have cinema. It is time for regular housekeeping, so I'm not going to tell you how YouTube works. You probably know all of that already. There's a couple of social media links included on the screen and in the description. If you give me a follow, you will stay in touch and you'll get to start a conversation with me. I guess that's all for now, and thanks for watching. Bye.